Against the remaining unbeaten side in MLS, the Five Stripes stay unbeaten. At home, we share the match 2-2, the final, a point apiece for both sides. Jason Longshore and Joe Fryhopper, this is your AT&T countdown to kickoff. Jason, one of the most physical matches of the entire season. We didn't see the goal from the Five Stripes until the second half. Daniel Rios, 5 goals in his last 2 matchups against the Philadelphia Union. He loves to see their colors on his schedule whenever they come to town. Caleb Wiley as well with a rocket from distance way outside of the box. And then momentum at the end of that second half unraveled to give us the 2-2 finish.
Yeah, so many things to unpack from this one. Let's start with the first half that had a lot of friction to it, had a lot of back and forth. It felt like Atlanta, as the half went on, started to deal with Philadelphia's pressure and their style of play pretty well. It felt like it was building. And I think Daniel Rios getting the goal and his reward for his hard work is a prime example of that. Rios doesn't have a lot of time on the field with the players around him. You need time to calibrate a little bit. And it felt like Rios really started to find that footing with the guys around him. He gets a great header back across, perfectly placed. Great ball in from Thiago Almada as well. The goal from Caleb Wiley, it was so far out and he hit it so cleanly. Caleb Wiley might end up being the best fullback produced in Major League Soccer history. He is that good. And defensively, I don't want to lose that part of this game for him because that goal's incredible. But defensively, dealing with the physicality, dealing with the intimidation, that kind of stuff that goes on in a match with the Philadelphia Union, Caleb was unfazed. Ends
that 9-month scoring drought for him as well, so good to see him back on the score sheet too. You talked about momentum being one of the big questions. We spoke with Brad Guzan and Tristan Muyumba in media availability not too long ago. What were the thoughts from the guys?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I felt like when you look back at the game in its totality, Atlanta United played really well and they did what they needed to do against Philadelphia. You get 2 goals at home. This team's only lost 1 game with 2 goals at home. 60 wins all time, now 12 draws. A giveaway, a mistake from Edwin Mosquera, a mishit ball, and that gives Philadelphia the momentum, and this is why they're so good. Tristan's been through this, Brad's been through this. You have that weird feeling after a game where you're the better team and you don't get the 3 points to show for it. And then Atlanta had chances late. You were talking about some of the play from Mosquera, rebounding from the mistake. Saba had a chance, Thiago had a chance late.
Edwin Mosquera out on the wing doing his stuff, salsa dancing, making his fullback bachata step with him as well. Couple of fake shots, and then ends up swinging it in on a platter there to Saba. Hums off a framework. Thiago Almada as well, really appearing quite well, connecting all throughout the field. Had a chance there at the end. This homestand is going to continue for the guys, and now we get ready for FC Cincinnati, a side that's got a bit of a skid coming into this one. Back-to-back matches without a victory for those guys. Miles Robinson coming back to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Going to be a bit of a bittersweet homecoming for him as he still gets accustomed in that back line with Matt Miazga.
Yeah, it's interesting with Cincinnati. I mean, you're talking about the Supporters Shield team from last year. Very, very strong. They do lose Brandon Vasquez, which hurts them up top, but you expected them to be so much better defensively with Robinson coming in, then adding DeAndre Yedlin during the season.
But on our defensive radar, there's going to be a couple of alerts across the dashboard. Lucho Acosta, everybody knows him as the MVP. He's back to his usual start of 2 goals, 4 assists to begin the season. Kubo as well, by the way, has had a hot start for them. He scored in back-to-back matches for them as well, despite not being victories. So 2 guys that we definitely have to keep an eye on. Yedlin with an assist as well.
Yuya Kubo, one of the most underrated players in the league. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8, he can play as a 10, he can play as a winger. He's so dangerous at popping up in good spots. He allows Cincinnati to solve a lot of problems in match with his versatility. But we talked to Brad Guzan about Lucho Acosta, and what he said that I think is so important, even when Atlanta United is attacking and in the attacking half, you have to be aware of where Acosta is. He's so good at hiding away from the play, and Cincinnati will find him when they get the ball. That big switch to Acosta is on so often because he'll just kind of drift away from the action and almost tries to make you forget about him. He's very good at it. Cincinnati's very good at finding him. You have to make sure he's accounted for. The communication amongst the back line has to be strong.
We're back. 7:30 is going to be our kickoff through the MLS Season Pass on Apple TV, and hopefully we can get that victory that we were so close to grabbing onto against Philly.
Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 on 92.9 The Game. Abe Gordon, Garrett Chapman will get you started. Kickoff 7:40. We're at home, so you can listen to our radio call on Apple TV's MLS Season Pass go into the audio options, choose home team radio.
That's Jason Longshore. I'm Joe Freinhofer. 17s. We'll see you on Saturday.